Alrighty then, where were we? Ending last extra chapter 4. Let's go. New chapter, extra chapter 4. Possibly the longest. Memories like beautiful dreams. Ooh, cool. Yeah, sure. Through my hazy vision, all I could see was a red pair of eyes, cutting through the darkness like flames. Could barely breathe, and I kept drifting in and out of consciousness. Look at that. I wonder why. Why, at a time like this, would that sticker photo I kept on my desk be the first thing to pop into my mind? I know they say your life flashes before your eyes, before you die, but this was only a single page from my past, albeit a very dear one. That day was almost like a dream. Could hear their laughter in the back of my head. The sky was a beautiful crimson-purple fusion, and the sweetness of that cake from the cafe was still on my tongue as we entered the photo booth. How did things wind up like this? Did I do something wrong? And if so, when and where? So now never showed up? Somehow, the answers to these questions seemed less interesting to me by the moment as events from my past replayed themselves within me. It was like I'd gone back in time. Oh, flashback, I think. Then all of a sudden, the sound of a door being thrown open brought me back to my senses. What? What? Why is now? Okay. Sayaka, I come bearing gifts, Sayaka. Sorry to keep you waiting. Were you lonely? Were you crying because you didn't know when I'd be back? Quiet, Inomaru. Dear Whittle now is sweeping, and we wouldn't want to wake her now, would we? Oof. You know, if it wasn't for Sachiko's hysteric birthday bash, I would have never known Sayaka and the others. And because I know them through Sachiko's ever after birthday bash, whatever, I like them. Imagine that. Investing on your characters and writing about them and making me give a shit. And that's why the emotional impact when Inomaru was caught in the darkening, becoming some kind of monster whatever thing, and Sayaka stopping him like, no, stop it, you stupid dog. I'm like, oh, I get it, because she always treated Inomaru like a dog or some shit. And yeah, that was good in this game. Yeah, I heard every word and raised my head to survey the situation. Though I first forgave my focus by staring at the clock above the blackboard, which slowly registered in my newly awakened mind as indicating it was now 4 o'clock. I feel like I overslept. I must have been exhausted from working on that draft late into the night, but with the deadline fast approaching, I had little other choice. I also must have been out for a really long time, as I had absolutely no memories of anything from 6th period. I looked around me, but the only other people in the room are Sayaka and Inomaru. Sorry now, did we wake you? It's okay for you to go back to sleep if you want. Sayaka seemed to have noticed I'd woken up and was running over to check on me, but I just shook my head, first to indicate no, then much harder to shake off the drowsiness. I'm fine. Please don't tell me you've been waiting for me to wake up though. If so, I'm really sorry to keep you so long. Don't apologize now. Ooh, you know there's no such thing as bad blood between us bestest buds. Sayaka flashed me an overzealous forced smile, which I returned, though mine was quite natural. Hers probably was too, actually, though I couldn't say for sure. Either way, it was super cute. Yes, Sayaka is adorable. So, Inomaru, where is it? Did you get it? The tone in her voice changed completely. And her smile disappeared too, now that she was addressing Inomaru instead of me. If you should extend your beautiful, delicate hand to me, I would happily answer your questions with all the love in my heart and soul. Such as, how do I love thee? Permit me to count the ways. That's a definite no on that. All I want from you is what I sent you out to get. I could see the embarrassment written plainly on your face. How long must this farce go on before you show me your true colors? Haruyuki Inomaru was our mutual classmate and a childhood friend of Sayaka's. Everything he did for Sayaka. His whole world seemed to revolve around her, and sometimes she'd play along, making his day, but that hadn't happened for a while now. Oh. He had the blood of an Izumo priest running through his veins. That's new to me, which gave him a considerable amount of spiritual ability, though he never seemed to like having that brought up. That's very new to me. Sayaka, did you ask Inomaru to bring you something? Yeah, snacks. You want some too? I'm good, but here? If you're hungry, you should eat on the way home. That's what I'd always been done. Though actually, we did eat on the way home all the time, so I guess this particular hunger somehow ran deeper. But I'm hungry now, and I can't keep this beast cage up any longer. I want to eat right here. Well, Sayaka, here they are. Inamar, who left the room without our knowledge a few seconds earlier, suddenly burst back and, with a flatbed cart, I thought I said earth, cart into squeaking away. The sea looks like a knee, and I could barely believe what was on it. Jajan, how's this, Sayaka? I brought you a whole smorgasbord. It's boxes and boxes of fatty, sugary, pre-packaged foods lined up every square inch of the transport. Cakes, waffles, donuts, oh, and a box from that pretzel shop that recently opened too. Add to that cookies, pies, macaroons, even ice cream. He had all the bases covered for sure. Yay! They look so tasty. Time for a sugar high. To my surprise, Sayaka beeline for one of the boxes, setting in motion what may have been the biggest binge I'd ever seen. Box after box fell before her, many before even she sat down. This is so sweet. This is heaven. Holy fucking shit. The voice actress for Sayaka is freaking adorable, and also her character too. Sayaka was ingesting these fatty, sugary processed foods at an alarming rate. I've never seen one person eat so much food she shouldn't in such a short period of time. Sayaka, are you feeling okay? Oh, did you want some too? Help yourself, everything is simply scrumptious. Were you seriously that hungry? I totally was. I just had a real crave for something sweet. I'm a little worried about all the calories, but what can you do? The stomach wants what it wants. You're not planning to eat all of this, are you? I was legitimately scared by the sheer quantity of sweets still stacked on the cart. I mean, I love candy as much as the next person, but I was practically getting heartburn just looking at this massive haul. Yeah, of course I'll eat it all. Wait, Sayaka, you can't be serious. But I am. Quite an appetite on this one. Just let me know if that's not enough for you, Sayaka, and I'll go get you some more right away. What are you saying, Inamaru? Even if she just eats everything you brought her already, she's going to get fat in no time. That's not a problem. Sayanoki, no matter how plump she may get, Sayaka will always be the cutest. Though I would be glad if I could get my arms all the way around her when I hug her, I suppose. Stop being stupid and bring me that box, Inamaru. As you wish. Oh, would you like me to feed it to you? Here, this macaroon has your name all over it. No, it has your fingerprints all over it, which is gross. You eat it. Yay, Sayaka gave me a snack. Man, poor guy. Now what? Inamaru was now holding the macaroon close to his heart, with a joyous expression on his face. I couldn't bear to look at him anymore, so I turned my attention back to Sayaka. I studied her as she continued to engorge herself, trying to determine how someone so typically mild-mannered had wound up in such a state. This was decidedly not normal behavior for her in any way. Something was definitely off. Actually, I am sensing some kind of disturbance in the force. The longer I stared at her, the more I was able to make out a faint shadow wavering just behind her. A spirit. It was a low-level spirit, one that could easily slip by unnoticed if a highly trained observer weren't looking very, very closely. Specifically, it was a spirit of a little girl, and its attachment to Sayaka was quite weak. It wouldn't take a lot of effort to exercise. How careless of me to not notice its presence sooner. I was now fully convinced that Sayaka's superhuman appetite originated from that little girl. There's a spirit attached to you, Sayaka. Sit still. I'll get rid of it. I produced a talisman from my bag and was just about to throw it down. But Sayaka quite aggressively shook her head at the notion. Stop now, she's not a bad spirit. What? Aren't you, okay, that's weird for Sayaka, but okay, let's see where this is going. I actually feel really bad for her. She was walking home one day, all excited after buying herself some really top quality candy. Then she got hit by a car whose driver had fallen asleep at the wheel, killing her instantly. At the moment of her death, all she wanted was to eat tasty sweets, but since she couldn't fulfill that wish, she couldn't pass on. And for the longest time, she didn't have enough energy to possess anyone, but she finally managed to save enough, and the person she latched onto was me. Are you seriously sympathizing with her? You know you can't do that, Sayaka. Opening your heart to spirits can only lead to trouble. But now you're a girl too. You get where she's coming from, don't you? Look at that crying face of Sayaka. It's adorable. Imagine if you've been psyched up to eat super nice sweets for a long time and you got them, but then died before you could taste any. That would totally blow, wouldn't it? Well, sure it would, but still. See? So I'm planning to eat sweets until this little girl is satisfied. It's the least I could do. Can they even taste what you taste? I mean, just look. Every time I munch, eat something sweet, just look at how happy it makes her. You are gonna be easily manipulated in the future. The girl behind Sayaka did seem genuinely pleased every time Sayaka popped something in her mouth. And there wasn't the slightest hint of malevolence from her. If anything, she projected a certain innocence that genuinely made me even kind of sympathize with her. But still, I really don't want to see Sayaka get fat. One of my secret joys was admiring Sayaka's magazine spreads. She always wore the most beautiful clothes, exhibiting a true sense of style and a true understanding of fashion in every photograph. Though I could hardly say that out loud, it was much too embarrassing. Oh, okay. So, Sayaka's a model, huh? Yeah. Doesn't she also have her own radio show in Book of Shadows? Yeah, okay. Sayaka, no matter how good or pure the spirit, possession never ends well. She really should be exercised. She's a girl without a single malicious thought in her mind. I'll be fine. Honestly, if a person has been possessed is covering for the spirit, that makes exorcism much more difficult, even potentially impossible, low level or no. My hands were more or less tied. Inamaru, can you help me convince Sayaka to go through with the exorcism? Convince her? Why? You don't want Sayaka to continue being possessed, do you? Well, I guess that is a little worrisome, but I'm also really moved by Sayaka's kindness. It takes a big heart to sympathize with the dead. With the dead. Can't pronounce words. Don't tell me you're okay with what she's doing. Well, it's not an evil spirit, right? And you don't care if Sayaka takes in so many calories that she has to quit modeling? Of course not. If that's what Sayaka wants, then that's what I want too. Our hearts are as one. Guess that's what I get for asking your help. My head began to hurt. And every second I watched Sayaka continue to devour her snacks, I became more and more inclined to stop her. I think this calls for more drastic measures. Sayaka might hate me for this, I thought, but that was a risk I was willing to take. My course of action decided upon, I took my steps and prepared to send that girl along to the ever after. But before I could even begin to chant, an unexpected visitor arrived. My, what a wonderful aroma. May I join you? The classroom door was wide open. There she stood, the infamous Aiko Niwa, wearing a unique combination of kimono and school uniform. Really? That's a school uniform? She was a self-proclaimed intelligence agent from class 3-5, and she had a lot of tendencies that I found distasteful. Specifically, she seemed to live for collecting spirit items, and just in general came across as a bit shady and manipulative, or at least that's how I'd always seen her. Aiho? Mouthful of dough, and Sayaka nonetheless did her best to acknowledge the presence of this new arrival. She wasn't particularly fond of Aiko, however, as the two of them had butt heads previously. But Sayaka had a general love of beautiful girls, and Aiko ranked fairly high on her beauty scale, so she always seemed a little conflicted about that. Oh, Sayaka's a thing for beautiful girls. Cool. What are you here for, Aiko? Now, there's no need to speak to me so coldly now. I was just ascending the stairs on my way home, and my nose detected the sweet scent and followed it here. Where, lo and behold, I found you. Could this be fate? Aiko, stop trying to do this now. I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about, and I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't make such accusations. Aiko, don't pester Sayaka. I would never. I don't really have the time to be dealing with you right now. Is that so? She tilted her head and examined the cart full of sweets, then compared its size to Sayaka's tiny frame. Well now, have you been offered a position as a female sumo wrestler? Sayaka's a female sumo wrestler? Ah. Sayaka seemed confused and Inamaru seemed disturbingly intrigued. I just ignored them both and let out a huge sigh. Look, a little closer, Aiko. Can't you see there's a spirit behind her? Ah, now that you mention it, my, what a thin presence she has. She's possessed Sayaka and is forcing her to eat sweets on her behalf. I want to exercise her, but Sayaka's not cooperating, so things aren't exactly going well. So that's it then. May I take a closer look at her? Aiko cautiously approached Sayaka and observed the spirit's behavior for a moment. Aiko's passion was a collection of spirit items infused with deep hatred or malice. So if this little girl wound up being a little darker than she seemed, Aiko would undoubtedly snatch her away on the spot. So you're a big fan of sweets, huh? I see. And how do you feel about dying in that accident? You must have a lot of regrets, I'll bet. Have you ever thought about killing or cursing the person who did this to you? Really? Well, have you ever wanted other people to end up the same way you did? Oh, I see. Aiko broke off the conversation shortly after this exchange and walked back toward me with slumped shoulders. It's no use, she won't budge. There's so much potential when becoming a spirit, but this girl just wants to eat delicious candy and she'll be completely satisfied. Can you believe it now? She's saying she holds no grudge. But that can't be possible, right? And even if it is, there's simply no value to be had in spirits like that. Aiko had completely lost interest, and she didn't seem to care that the little girl had heard every word she'd said. The spirit was on the verge of tears, shrinking back behind Sayaka to distance herself as much as possible from this hostile new presence. If Aiko's that adamant, then I guess the poor thing really doesn't hold any ill will. I told you, I feel really bad for her. Please try to understand now, huh? Munch, munch. Sayaka spoke with a bit of staccato, her lips sticky with apple pie residue. But Sayaka, if you keep eating like that, it's going to catch up with you. You think so? You're not going to let Naho exercise the ghost because you feel sorry for her, then? Yeah. I see, so despite how much Naho is hurt by your actions, you're going to side with that spirit. Huh? Got him. See, Naho? Isn't Sayaka mean? Aiko smiled and sidled up next to me. She was clearly plotting something. She took my hand in hers and wrapped her fingers around it delicately. Let's leave this uncouth girl who has no regard for your feelings and go out on a date, shall we? No, you can't. Sayaka immediately shot to her feet, knocking over her chair in the process. And just like that, she no longer had the slightest interest in any part of the mountain of candy that lay sprawled out before her. This sudden shift separated the spirit from Sayaka as if the cord had been cut on a kite. If you're not going to date anyone now, date me. I'm off after school today. What do you say, huh? Huh? That's fine, I guess. Alright, scored a date with Naho. So, Sayaka hugged me excitedly, and I was overjoyed. It's always nice knowing how much other people really care about you. But then, for a brief moment, my eyes locked with those of the little girl's spirit floating in the air, and that's all it took. Crap. The spirit was quicker to act than I was to realize what I'd done. By the time I had, it was too late. She was already within me. Instantly, my stomach emptied. I was intensely and massively hungry, the hungriest I'd ever been. Actually, Sayaka, sorry, but let's hold off on that day for a little. I absolutely have to eat that. I flew over to Sayaka's chair and threw open one of the stacked boxes. Jackpot, it was full of custard-filled cream puffs. Grabbed one and just shoved it into my mouth, with absolutely no regard for mess or manners. The rich custard melted in my mouth and the light, delicate aroma filled my nostrils. But rather than sating my appetite, this delicious temptation only made it stronger. So good. Oh dear, it looks like your spirit has found its way into Naho now. What? Oh, wow, you're right. Naho, are you okay? I had neither the time nor the desire to answer her question. I was too busy moving my hands and mouth, either eating sweets or formulating a game plan to eat further sweets more efficiently, but I couldn't exactly leave her hanging. I'm fine. After every bite, the girl possessing me expressed pure absolute gratitude. I heard whispers from her to the effect of, I'm so happy and thank you so much, and I immediately realized this could be a real problem. I totally get why Saika felt sympathy for this girl. The desire to continue eating no matter what made this spirit every girl's worst enemy. The worst part was, you couldn't just say no to her, she was too relatable. Rarely had I ever encountered a spirit who elicited such sympathy that its host would choose not to part with it. This eclair is amazing. You don't want any more, Sayaka? No, I'm full. Actually, wow, did I really eat this much? The number of open and empty boxes was either astounding or sickening, depending on your viewpoint. I could tell you were enjoying your food, Sayaka, by the unrestrained, unbridled passion with which you consumed it. You're almost certainly going to gain a little away from the experience too, and personally, I can't wait. I hope you'll allow me to touch your tummy and feel up that food, baby. No way, I'm much more comfortable being the toucher? I'm much more comfortable being the toucher than the touchy. Okay. Really, Sayaka? Have you been holding back this whole time then? It's okay, you know, you can touch me, pet me, or hug me all you want anytime. Nobody's talking about you. Inamara was quickly knocked to the floor. Sayaka then ran right past him over to me. No, don't eat another bite. I don't want you to get fat. Easier said than done. I just want to keep eating. I can't help it. No Getsy's fatties for you, please. I'm also a little concerned, but my hunger could not easily be sated. My hands just wouldn't stop grabbing candies and sweets and desserts one after another. I'll be glad to exercise that spirit for you, Sayaka, if you want. But I feel bad for her. Isn't there any other way? Well, I could just remove the spirit from her, but if we leave it be, it'll probably possess someone else. As long as it's not possessing now, I have a feeling Sayaka wouldn't mind that arrangement one bit. No, that's a problem all its own. I'm just not sure what I should do. Sayaka took a contemplative stance, holding her head in her hands as she attempted to suss out a possible solution to this problem. Are you gonna give it to Inamaru? And it didn't take her long to brainstorm something. I know, how about we appease her so she can move on? So let her continue to eat sweets until she's satisfied? That's going to leave us in the same exact situation. Yeah, you and Sayaka have both eaten a lot, but the spirit doesn't seem to be anywhere close to being appeased yet. I can't even imagine how much more you'll need to eat before she is. That's not quite what I mean. She died after buying some super fancy sweets but not being able to eat them, right? So if we can introduce her to something really hoity-toity that she's never eaten before, I'll bet that would be more than enough for her to rest in peace. Oh hey, that's a good idea. Really? Alright. The spirit seemed to be in agreement as well. She was nodding furiously. Even she hadn't considered this plan previously, but she was clearly all aboard now. Were there any good high-end sweet shops nearby? I bought from nearly everyone in the area as a show of my love for Sayaka. Well, if none of that is doing the trick, then I guess we should need to find something even more delicious. Now, can you think of anything? There's a cafe. Let's save that one for our date. Sayaka rejected my suggestion, not that it was particularly likely to appease the spirit anyway, since the true point of the cafe wasn't its sweets but its feline companions. Well now, I guess that just means you and I are going to need to go out on that date after all. A ticket was handed to me, presented with a certain flair that suggested it must have been something special. Cafe Horthath? That was the name, and the ticket also bore the date, as well as a 5:30 p.m. timestamp. Saga clearly recognized the significance of what had just been handed. That's that sweet shop in front of the next station down the line. You know, the one you have to reserve seats at a year in advance? What? The piece of cake I'd been eating fell from my now agape mouth and crumbled onto the floor. I remembered hearing about this place during a TV feature. During its grand opening, the reservation line backed up pedestrian traffic throughout the station. Are we seriously talking about that place? And your reservations are actually for today? Where did you get these, Aiko? I confiscated them from someone who failed to become a customer of mine. Aiko said this in a coy, playful voice, clearly riding the waves of Saiko's excitement. She continued in this manner, outlining her story in greater detail. I gave my client the requested information but received not a single yen in compensation, and have been unable to establish any contact since. That's just poor business, don't you think? So as a form of collateral, I collected that person's entire savings along with anything else I could find that seemed to be of some worth. Holy shit. Their entire savings? Yeah, that's right, and I found these tickets in the mix. I was thinking of selling them, but they're only good for today, and it's always nice to eat delicious food with the people one truly cares about from time to time. People you care about? Us? Of course, and you're all welcome to join, not just now, but you two as well, Sayaka and Haruyuki. What do you say? Are you sure? Of course, I'd love to build a better relationship with you all, and this seems like the perfect opportunity. You hear that now? Come on, let's go. If you're going, then I'm going. I'll follow you to the ends of the earth, Sayaka, so take heart. I wasn't asking you. As Sayaka beat the ever-loving snot out of Inumaru again, I took this opportunity to glance over at Aiko and study her for any signs of ulterior motive. People you care about, huh? I don't remember ever even getting along with you. I'd known Aiko for a while, but mostly just as a colleague in supernatural studies. I'd never gone out with her, nor even sat in and drunk tea with her, like I frequently would with Sayaka. My, now, you look perturbed. Is there something the matter? Aiko, what are you planning? I'm not planning anything but a good time. I just thought it might be nice to drink tea and make small talk. Chat about something other than spirit items for a change. Really? Really? Also now? Suddenly, she was right next to me, and with her porcelain-like fingers, she lifted the strawberry from the shortcake I was eating. We're close friends, right? And it's normal for close friends to go out for tea after school, no? Close friends? Here, say Instinctively, I did open my mouth, at which point the strawberry was gently placed on my tongue, and I found myself swallowing it without hesitation. Oh, now you're so messy. You have whipped cream all over your mouth. She brought her finger up to my lips and wiped the cream from them. After which point she stuck the same finger in her own mouth, savoring the second-hand cream she'd scored. It's so light and sweet. What the hell are you doing? Ooh, I am melting. Two sexy ladies feeding each other and sharing whipped cream. Sayaka shrieked and held her nose, presumably to keep it from bleeding. Which did seem to be a real concern, given how red her face had gone. Thank you for that steamy scene, but no, I can't let it go on, Aiko. You're not to lay even one finger on now anymore. Sayaka? Sayaka burst between me and Aiko and hugged me with ferocious intensity. Her fresh citrus perfume tickled the inside of my nose as her supple breasts, roughly the same size as my own, pressed up against my face, which made it kind of hard to breathe for a moment. Sayaka, you're suffocating me. So I'm sorry now. But if I don't do this, Aiko's going to make you open up and say again. No, she won't. You two certainly do have a lovely relationship. You're making me jealous. Aiko's fox pouty face was only making matters worse with Sayaka, and in turn I was getting more and more fed up with the whole situation. Which is about when I realized that my body had grown lighter. I'm not possessed anymore? My concern over suffocating to death on Sayaka's boobs seemed to have diverted my attention away from all the delicious sweets. And sure enough, it took only a moment of scanning the area around me to see the spirit girl floating freely, looking a bit concerned. She seemed to be trying to decide between Aiko and Inumaru, the latter of whom was on the ground holding his stomach. Naturally, she chose to possess Inumaru this time. Wow, I have a sudden craving for sugar. He quickly shot to his feet and ran full speed toward the remaining piles and boxes of candy and confectionaries. This is so good, I'm totally gonna get fat from it, though, and that's really bad. But you'll love me even if I'm chunky, won't you, Sayaka? Now, over here, you'll say for me too, right? Come on, open your mouth, here comes the aeroplane. Sayaka, why don't we do this somewhere a little more private? Now, there's no need to worry about that now. You're not that shy, are you? Come on. Did you hear my question, Saga? Oh, I get it. You want me to diet with you, don't you? Guess I have to go buy some workout clothes then. What will look good, I wonder. We're going to want to wear matching outfits, so... Just stop talking, you're only making things worse. Watching all is so very entertaining. I'm not sure I'd ever get tired of it. And in this manner, the conversation devolved into pure enemy tropes. Well, at least you acknowledge that. You're aware of this. I'm waiting in such a state for the entire walk to Cafe Horthath. Out of breath, we finally arrived at our destination only 5 minutes after the 5:30 reservation time. Fashionably late, some might say. Oh, wow, really? I can save? Sure, here. And then what? Wait, we're back here? Okay. We pushed open the heavy doors and heard the clinking and clambering of the very unique door jam as we stepped across the threshold. A server quickly came and took Aiko's reservation ticket, then guided us to our seats. I can't take it anymore. Inumara began sucking on some candy while we waited to help stave off his insatiable hunger. When our menus arrived, he opened his in record time and began salivating. The dessert menu, which represented the majority of this cafe's famous offerings, was filled with items that aroused our appetites. Wow, caramel honey pancakes topped with chestnuts, baked donuts with hot chocolate fondue, mixed berry waffles, and a 3-flavored sorbet, a banana omelet smothered in mango sauce. What should we do now? Everything here sounds amazing. I can't choose. Yeah, we've already had enough sugar to keep us all up weak, but we can't very well come here and not order something. Excuse me, we're ready to order. Saga and I were still deciding, but Aiko flagged down a server anyway. He was an elderly man with a very professional, very respectful disposition, and strangely, I kind of felt like I recognized him. What can I get you for today? Waldo. Oh, isn't he the butler? Yeah, butler of Kuwan and Aiko. I'll have the known baked green tea cheesecake with white flowered camellia and a roasted green milk tea, please. Roasted green? You roast tea? Huh. Very good. I'll take everything from this page to this page. Alright. Seriously? I have to. I'm so hungry. I feel like I'm about to die of starvation. Well, okay. Will that be all? Now, what are you getting? How about how do you pronounce that? Even though I drink tea a lot, which is mostly lemon green tea, but not really. But not this kind of tea. Chamomile? Chamomile? Camouflage tea and a banana omelet? I don't know. And I'll have the raspberry chiffon cake with a peach tea. Excellent choices. I'll get your orders in right away. This person, I swear I've seen him somewhere before. The server swiftly took his leave as I tilted my head, trying desperately to place him. This wasn't just someone I met once or twice, but numerous times, yet for the life of me, I couldn't figure out where or under what circumstances. Hey, doesn't our server look familiar to you guys? I posed the question to the table as a whole, but Saika and Inumara just flashed me a strange look. You think? I can't imagine I ever forget a gentleman like him, but no, I can't place him. And I can't really remember anyone other than Sayaka. What about you, Aiko? I know him very well. Look over there, he's that girl's assistant, no? That girl? Kawaniwa. I followed Aiko's finger with my eyes, and found myself face to face with a young girl wearing a Lolita-style dress decorated liberally with ribbons. Oh wait, Marguerite. What's her name? Something. Yeah, Marguerite. Hello to you, Sayanoke and her delightful friends. Aren't you that transfer student? Marguerite Mizuki, there you go. Yeah. She studied our reactions for a moment, then got up from her chair and approached me. Mizuki had recently transferred to our class, though no one really knew much about her. Her features were doll-like, with perfect skin complemented by that adorable outfit. She was cheek-pinchingly cute at first glance, but beneath the surface she was ruthless and cruel. Our server is Waldo Mizuki, Marguerite's butler. Intelligence indeed. I could name out very, very impressive that you even know about Waldo. She cackled and pulled over a chair from a nearby table, and suddenly she was now sitting with us like we were old friends catching up. What's the meaning of this? Why are you even here? Because I own this place. You lie. I don't lie, or at least I'm not lying right now. Aiko, you knew just what happened when you brought us here, didn't you? I gave her the stinkiest stink eye I could manage, but she just shrugged her shoulders nonchalantly. I had an inkling, yeah. What are you plotting? Why would I be plotting anything? Because if we'd known this place belonged to her, we wouldn't have come, so spit it out. So demanding. None of you asked who the owner of Cafe Horthat was, however, did you? That doesn't matter, you could have still said something. Sayaka puffed up her cheeks and stared at Aiko. Mizuki is seriously the last person we need to get involved with right now. I previously found myself butting heads with Mizuki over supernatural matters, and naturally Sayaka had gotten pulled into the fray as well, but strangely so had Aiko. Yet now all of a sudden Aiko had invited us to a cafe owned by Mizuki, which suggested to me that she had some nefarious plan in mind. If you're the owner of this place, Mizuki, then I guess that must mean you're pretty rich, huh? Inumaro, naturally, again, was the only one of us totally out of the loop about her. He thought nothing of making small talk with someone he, presumably, saw only as a classmate. Not really, this isn't anything special. Also, who are you again? Haruki Inumaro. You can think of me as Sayaka's lover from a past life. That'll tell you everything you need to know. Ooh, from a past life, huh? Yep, that's right. You can tell because our pinkies are bound together by the red string of fate. You're pretty funny. Mizuki, you shouldn't believe a word this lying dog tells you. You're better off just ignoring him. I don't know. His story seems pretty genuine to me, and I'm pretty good at judging these things. Mizuki smiled brightly. It was hard to tell whether she was serious or just trying to mess with Sayaka. The look in her eyes was plainly that of an evil mastermind, yet her smile was absolutely perfect and beautiful in every way, which somehow made it all more unsettling. So, why are you sitting with us again? Because I was hoping we could be friends. After what you did to us? How dare you? Yeah, what did she do to you? I'm out of the loop too. What? Oh dear, am I being shunned? Your own classmate wholly excluded from your clique? It's a form of bullying, you know? I didn't mean it that way, You just what? You bully me for the hell of it? For no other reason than your own amusement? That's even worse. I had no idea you were that kind of person, Sayaka. Sayaka's cheeks swelled up bit by bit. They almost looked like you could prick them with a pin and they'd pop wide open. Bear with it, Sayaka. But now... I don't like her any more than you do, believe me. Sayaka's so adorable, look at that, she's crying. She is your classmate though, is she not? In which case, it does seem a bit pitiable for her to get excluded. You got a good head on your shoulders after all, Aiko. Whose side are you on? That should be obvious. You needn't even ask. I'm on the side that will benefit me the most, and if Magri and I have a good relationship with one another, I might just be able to hear a little more about her spirit items. Besides which, I've always found that tea never tastes quite as sweet after you've ousted someone from the table. Yeah, it's all just as Aiko says. Why are you all being so unfriendly toward one another? Inumaro was clueless and would take far too long to explain the situation to him, so I figured it was easier just to ignore him completely. I looked everyone else square in the eye for a second though, ultimately settling on Ayaka. She was in tears. If Sayaka is seriously crying, there's no turning back. I have to stand my ground here. I'm sorry, Mizuki, but I really think we're going to have to insist you not join us at our table. That's your final answer then. I hope you're sure about this. Refusing the owner's favor means no banana omelet, you know? And Sayaka doesn't get to eat her scrumptious chiffon cake either. Can you live with that? I'll be forced to cancel the orders from your other two guests as well, naturally. What? But I'm so hungry. You think I care? If you're that hungry, go shove some cheap-ass junk food down your face hole outside. That's a dick move, Mizuki. I didn't want to be this confrontational, but I didn't see that I had much choice. Besides which, it really was a dick move. We came all the way here, but because we weren't sucking up to the owner, we had to leave without eating anything? That's just unprofessional. It shouldn't even be an option. Fine, you want to sit with us, you can sit with us. Really now. But only on one condition. I wanted to eat those supposedly legendary sweets, but Sayaka was too near and dear for me to just let this go on Mizuki's terms. So I decided to do some bargaining. If you can promise you won't do anything to get under our skin, then fine. We'll allow you to sit with us. Mizuki's eyes widened and a grin crept across her face. You mean something like this? What the? She moved faster than my eyes could see. Suddenly she had my arm and was pulling me in close. Then before I knew it, I was feeling a little continuous warm and squishy sensation on my cheek. Now cheek, her cheek. What's happening? My, how passionate. That's really something. Is it normal for girls today to kiss each other on the cheek? Oh, okay. Has the shock of this public display rendered you speechless, Sayaka? Sniffle, sob. Personally, I'm shocked you haven't told us that you're melting yet. You poor thing. Though really, how long are you two planning to stay like that? This was around when I finally came back to my senses. Instead of just a simple peck at the cheek, Mizuka had been sucking my skin this entire time. Now that this realization had finally dawned on me, I immediately pushed her away. What the hell are you doing? Get away from me! Nom? Your cheek just looks so delicious. I simply had to have a taste. Finally distanced from my cheek, she glared ferociously at me, seemingly sizing me up to determine whether or not I was worthy of remaining in her establishment. Evidently, I passed the test as she finally raised her arm into the air and snapped her fingers, signaling to her butler. Bring them here, Waldo. Yes, ma'am. On Mizuki's command, the butler come server arrived with a literal wagon full of sweets. Mizuki stood up, still smiling gleefully, as various plates and teacups were neatly, almost ceremoniously placed in front of each of us. Wow, they all look amazing. Is it really okay to start eating? I don't think I can wait any longer. Please go ahead. I give you my personal guarantee that the Sweets here at Cafe Hortha will provide you with the ultimate sugary escape. So, wait. Inumara wasted no time digging into dish after dish, barely stopping to chew his food before shoveling another forkful into his mouth. Possessed or not, it was a terrifying sight to behold. This is incredible, just incredible, Mizuki. I'm glad to hear it suits your taste. Now, come on everyone, dig in, dig in. Sayanoki, would you like me to feed you? No, I'm quite alright. No need to be so modest, we're bestest budgies, aren't we? What's a little spoon feeding between besties? Whoa, back it up a sec there. Since when have we been the bestest buddies? What's that? Has now made herself another best friend? Your popularity truly is staggering, you know. As your best friend myself, though, it does concern me a bit. That's not what I call you either, Aiko. You hide your embarrassment so very skillfully now. Lol. What embarrassment? Oh yeah, play it off like usual. I know how shy you are deep down. You have a good poker face, though, so it took me quite a while to figure you out. You know, this is starting to get kind of old. I had a splitting headache at this point, and I could think of no better cure for it than vast quantities of sugar. I took my knife and fork and cut off a big piece of my banana almond, shoving it in my mouth, and while swishing it around a little to savor it. Amazing, this may be the finest dessert I've ever had. The sweetness of the soft sponge cake and the richness of the cream melted together in my mouth to create a veritable symphony of flavor. And mixed in with it was this bittersweet banana itself, the crown atop this loyal treat. What do I do? My hands won't stop. Right? Surprisingly, Mizuki's expression had changed to something altogether more innocent than before as she delightedly ingested spoonfuls of sweet confection. Hers was a parfait topped with a cavalcade of grapes. This is so delicious. I truly am a genius. It's not like you're the one who made it, though. I held my tongue, better not to stir the pot right now, so to help me keep quiet, I shoved another piece of omelet into my mouth. I really can't deny the quality of this food. This place definitely warrants its reservation-only nature. My dessert was basically flawless. And though I was very, very full, I just couldn't stop going back for more. Every now and again, this really isn't so bad, is it? Spending time with friends after school, indulging in tea and sweets. It's kind of a new experience for me. Usually, the only person I can count on to be there for me is Waldo. Oh. But I'm really having fun here, so everything's on me, meaning you'd better not hold back. Thank you very much. Well, okay, for sure. I have to admit, this caught me off guard. I never expected someone like Mizuki to be so amiable. I forked another omelet piece into my mouth, feeling consciously triumphant. Soon enough, I was not only beyond sated, but happy as well. Looking around, the others seemed to be in high spirits as well, except for Sayaka still hadn't even picked up her fork. What's wrong? I can't just accept this. I'm your #1 bestest friend of them all now, aren't I? Yeah. Startled by the question, I made the mistake of hesitating in my answer. It wasn't a lie. All anyone had to do was watch the two of us in action, and it was obvious we were as close as friends could be. But Sayaka saw my hesitation as a clear indicator that I was lying. She took it as an implied no, and her self-confidence suddenly fell through the floor. If I'm not #1, then what place am I? No, Sayaka, you're absolutely my #1, honest. I mean, there's not even any contest. You have nothing to worry about. Really? Really? So come on, don't cry. I'm not crying. I guess you got me there. She wasn't crying, but she looked like a volcano about to erupt. She continued to study my expression for a while with her vaguely watery saucer eyes. So on your next day off, can we go to a cat cafe together? Yeah, of course, if that's what you want, we can go to all the cat cafes together. Before that though, can we go buy matching clothes so we can wear them there together? We can go as a pair, right? Because I'm your #1 friend, right? I guess it'd be okay if it were someplace without a lot of people, but to a cat cafe? You don't want us to match? No, I didn't say that, Sayaka. Okay, you know what? Let's do it. We'll go in matching clothes. Dressing as a pair might be a fun change of pace. Also, will you open up and say ah for me there like you did with Aiko? This time I was kind of at a loss for words. Is this a competition? Going as a pair to a popular place like Cat Cafe and getting fed up by her on top of that is just... What do you mean by that? Did you really do that with Sayanoki, Aiko? Oh yeah, in the classroom just before coming here. But I've put the whole incident behind me at this point. I very much hope you don't hold a grudge against me for it, Sayaka. If Sayaka was able to do it, then I want to do it too. Sayanoki, open your mouth for a sec. No, if you're going to lay a figure now from this point on, you're going to have to go through me first. You sure that's what you want? Hold it, we're just going in circles here. So everybody who's not Sayaka, please shut your mouth. Sayaka and Mizuki looked like they were about to face off in epic combat, so I decided enough was enough and stepped in to put a stop to it. And in doing so, I realized that the other customers in the establishment had fallen silent as well, and were all staring at us. That wasn't much of a surprise as it probably should have been, though given how loud we were being. You need to calm down, Sayaka, okay? I am calm. No, you're not. I can tell you're losing your cold. How about you eat some cake to soothe your nerves, see? Doesn't this look good? Try to divert our focus to one of the chiffon cakes we'd received, but Sayaka just kept her gaze firmly glued to mine. Then she leaned in toward me, the spark of an idea flashing across her face. If you don't want to open up and say ah, then I want to kiss you on the cheek like Mizuki did. Come on now, that should be fine, right? Sayaka approached me quickly and I instinctively shrunk back into my chair a bit. Sayaka, please get a hold of yourself. I am, and I'm going to disinfect my dear Nao's cheek. What was that? Oh no, are you implying my lips are anything but pure and perfect? Do you need me to kiss you too to prove it? I will not kiss anyone but Nao, and Nao can't kiss anyone but me. Sayaka, please, quiet down. But now... I believe I have a solution to this dilemma. How about each one of us in turn feeds her and kisses her on the cheek? Then we'll all be on the same page, you see? What is wrong with you, Aiko? Yeah, if we all do it, then what's the point anymore? Well, think about it, Sayaka. The reason you're depressed right now is because Marguerite and I were able to flirt with Nao in ways that you weren't, right? Well, yeah, but... And meanwhile, I'm depressed because Marguerite was able to kiss her, and Marguerite's depressed because I was able to feed her. So if each of us do to now that which we haven't done before, we'll have each both kissed and fed her, and the state will be wiped clean. And the slate, oh, I said state. Slate will be wiped clean. And once we're all experienced the joys of intimately flirting with now in these two separate ways, peace will finally return to this cafe. Wow, that's brilliant. Really, I'm totally okay fighting you guys in cold blood over this if I have to, you know. But Margaret, occasional compromises are staple among friends that help make the bonds of friendship stronger, or so I hear. Seriously? The entire conversation was raising a lot of questions for me, and not just the obvious ones. Mizuki barely even seemed to know what the words compromise meant. And Aiko seemed to be basing her understanding of it entirely on hearsay. Was it really possible that neither of them had ever actually compromised on something before? What kind of life have these two been living? So Saika, you'll get to feed Nao and kiss her on the cheek. In exchange, I'll get to kiss Nao on the cheek myself. And Marguerite will get to feed her. That should make everything equal then. Voila! Case closed, right? Why me? Fine, today's the day I made new friends, so I guess I'll try this compromise thing. But it is a one-time only deal. Okay, I'll go along with this. Not you too, Sayaka. Everybody wants to be that special someone for you now, but we're all holding back. Still, if I need to sit back and watch others flirt with you, I can do that, for the greater good. Are you hearing yourself, Sayaka? Alright now, ready or not, here I come. Sayaka stood up from her seat and grasped my shoulders with both hands. She had a serious, solemn look in her eyes. Sayaka? I'm going to start with a kiss on the cheek, and after that, I want you to open up and say, ah, for me. I'm next then. I should stand in line behind Sayaka. Me too. Make sure you don't take too long though, Sayaka. Remember, there are other customers waiting. Aiko and Mizuki rose from their seats and queued up behind Sayaka. The actual other customers looked very uncomfortable. They were half watching, half intentionally averting their eyes. It seemed the uncertain but approach was more proper. Thank you for this treat. Sayaka's face slowly approached mine. It was only a kiss on the cheek, but her expression was that of a microsurgeon focusing on a patient. It made me extremely, inexplicably nervous. Wait, I need time to prepare. But I was going to get any. Sayaka was about to bring it in for a landing, and there was no stopping her now. Fine, if you're going to do this, just do it. Like a warrior preparing to go into battle, I tightly closed my eyes and awaited my destiny. Well? Inamaru's sudden, unexpected exclamation caused me to jump and seemed to pause Sayaka's advance as well. What? When I opened my eyes, I could see that Sayaka was not at all happy with her childhood friend. What the hell, Inamaru? This was my moment. Saved by the yell. A breathless sigh of relief, and turned to face Inamaru. He had been eating his mountain of sweets and sodas this whole time, but was now pointing outside the window. Over there. We each followed his fingers to the sky. Down with the setting sun, the heavens above were a beautiful shade of crimson-infused purple. And there, right where he was pointing, we could see a small distortion in the air. That's... Yeah, apparently the sweets were so good she's passing on. We completely forgot about the spirit girl with the weak aura. Got ignored to death. She had an enormous grin on her face and met our gazes with a courteous bow, then disappeared into the sunset. As we left the cafe, the sun was only just peeking out over the distant horizon, growing smaller and dimmer by the moment. We never did find out which particular confection was the one that brought the eternal rest to the little girl, but that also wasn't important. All that mattered was she'd moved on. Well, Mizuki, thank you for the food today. Everything was absolutely delicious. You're very welcome. I'm fit to burst right now. If I indulge in sweets like that every day, I'd fill out like a beach ball. I should probably give up sugary foods for a while. For me, it was also delicious. I eat more anytime. Reservations are booked a full year in advance though, so you won't be able to get back in for a while. That sucks. So tasty it can even pacify spirits. You'd better watch out, praise like that will go to my head. I could probably use my influence to sneak in another reservation for you sometime if you want. Really? Really, all I ask in return is, say cheese. Mizuki's phone produced a sudden flash, and before I knew it, my picture had been taken. What are you doing? Commemorating today's events. Nothing wrong with that, right? She spun her phone around to show me the screen, and my face instantly turned red hot. It was a candid shot of me reacting to the sudden flash with a total look of confusion on my face. It was apparently now her wallpaper. What kind of expression even is that? Hey, that's not fair. I want a picture of you too now. Come on, let me take one. My battery's dead. Luck is just not on your side today, Sayaka. That's okay, I'll just take one tomorrow. But a memento of today's events has come from today, doesn't it? Sayaka, would you like me to take one with my phone instead? Naturally, it would be a picture of just you since my phone has eyes for it. No one else, but still. There'd be no point in that then. That's not true, I'd be happy. I don't give a crap about your happiness. That's so cold. How could this happen at such an important moment? She put away her phone in disappointment, defeated and forlorn. This seemed to have been an oddly rough day for her. I don't think it would be good for Sayaka to spend much more time with Mizuki today. Well, I guess we'll be heading back now. See you around, Mizuki. Bye-bye. Mizuki waved her hand in an exaggerated motion, then slinked back into the cafe. Then what? Phew, what an exhausting day. No fooling. You think I had a lot of fun spending all my after-school hours with you, Sayaka? Dogs live such easy lives, don't they? Sayaka's implied "I'm done with you" elicited a wry smile from me. She was clearly too tired to care how her words came across. I actually felt kind of bad for Inumara, but I couldn't help appreciating Sayaka's current state of mind. Maybe we're just a tad more simpatico than I'd given us credit for. I had a lot of fun, but it seems like you two weren't quite as entertained. How unfortunate. Wow, even without getting your hands on any new spirit items, you still managed to have a good time? Certainly not a bad one. Low-level spirits and Gori from Magari aside, I was able to spend my after-school hours with close friends, and that's something of a first for me. What? You're seriously never spent time with friends after school before, Aiko? I have not. But Aiko, you're so pretty, how can that be? Sayaka's compliment was met with a slight smile. Though it could have been just as easily been a pained smile, for all I know, since I'm sure this was dredging up some memories Aiko would have rather not thought about. Sayaka's comment definitely came from a place of pure innocence, however. In her mind, cute girls always drink tea and spend time with their friends after school. It's only natural. I'm usually busy gathering information. That doesn't leave me with much time to socialize after classes. I also rarely come in contact with common folk who can't see spirits. What? Sayaka stopped dead in her tracks. This seemed to shock her a lot more than it should have. Her expression was almost cartoonish. Aiko looked back at her quizzically, tilting her head a bit. My, did I say something strange? No, I get it now, Aiko. As of today, we're friends. You're okay with that, right now? We'll both be friends with her. Sure. Given my long turbulent history with Aiko, I was already sold on the idea of counting her among my friends now. And my response wasn't exactly brimming with positivity, but I was kind of put on the spot, so I think it was a fair response as could be expected. I didn't want to upset Sayaka after all, but the question was, how would Aiko react to this? I'm going to be friends with both of you then? That's right, what do you say? But I'm not exactly friend material, am I? Sayaka says it's okay, so why not just roll with it? If you can think of us as friends, I'm betting your attitude toward us might change a little too. We'll see about that. A decidedly dubious statement to make, but she didn't seem to even realize how it might have come across. So we're actually friends now. That word kinda tickles the tongue, doesn't it? Friends. Friends. Stop saying the word friends, it's embarrassing. Excuse me, what about me? I am still here, you know. We're discussing a friendship among girls. We have no need for boys. In other words, you'll be jealous if I have other female friends, so you'd rather Niwa and I remain as acquaintances. Is that the gist of it? Wow. What a positive mindset you have. How optimistic. There you go. You are really getting on my nerves. Saga's explosive punches were flying pretty furiously today, it seemed. Staring down at the now KO'd Inamaru, she suddenly lit up with the brightest smile I'd seen from her since leaving the cafe. Now then, I have a proposal. A member of today's newly built friendship, how about we get ourselves some sticker photos? Along a bustling street nearby, we found an arcade with a nice, shiny row of sticker photo booths inside. I suspect Saika may have chosen this particular arcade for a very specific reason, however, as there was a large sign by the door which read, "No men allowed." Tough break in tomorrow. Guys can't go in, so you have to wait here for us. What? Wait, hold on. There's fine print, see? It says men are allowed to be accompanied by women. Look, it's written right here. Come on now, Aiko, let's go. We left Inumar at the entrance despite his attempts to follow us inside. We headed straight for the sticker photo booths. You don't feel a little bad for the poor guy? Nah, if Inumar win the shot, who knows what he'd do with those stickers? That's a good point, actually. Aiko provided no argument either, so we all just shrugged off Inumar's misfortune. I then stepped up into one of the few booths that was unoccupied, signaling the other two to follow. How's this one look? Works for me. Over here, Aiko. Enter at will. It's quite bright in here. Aiko was mesmerized by the booth, squinting as she looked over the lights along the screen. Is this your first time taking one of these, Aiko? Yeah, though I certainly understand the concept and functionality, of course. Okay, then I'll only give you one expert level piece of advice. When taking a sticker photo, always make sure you're looking at the camera, not the screen. Alright. Aiko nodded, though her movement felt calculated and stiff. She was clearly very nervous. Come to think of it, the first time I took a sticker photo was also with Saika, huh? First time was always kind of nerve-wracking. Once we picked our shot, let's write Friends Forever on it. We wrote that back when the two of us took our first photo, too, right, Naho-chan? Naho-chan? That's right. I see. Aiko's quick response felt hollow and forced. She was still stiff as a board, like her spirit had been left behind somewhere. In a way, her awkward hesitation had certain charm to it. It proved that she was being genuine, that she was human. How about we group hug in the picture? I mean, we might as well. Okay. What background should we use? I don't know, you pick. Okay, got it. I made a few quick selections, then the background behind Aiko changed. She must not have known about that part. It was actually kind of funny. Okay, here we go. Right. Ooh, Aiko, come closer. Hurry. 3, 2, 1. There you go. That's adorable. After several flashes and clicks, an image of us was displayed on the monitor. In it, Saika and I were hugging, but Aiko was standing behind us with a furtive look in her eyes. Aiko, why weren't you embracing us? Oh, you're right, I completely forgot. You were nervous, weren't you? Of course not. Aiko's mouth said no, but her blood-red cheeks said otherwise. This was the first time I'd ever seen Aiko flustered. Why don't we take one more? No, I like this one. I think it shows our true natures. Plus, it's kind of funny, don't you think? Aiko touched the monitor with her finger and laughed. Alright, let's call it a day here then. Okay, I wonder if this would make Mizuki jealous. Is that what you were after all along? Of course not. It was to commemorate the forming of our friendship with Aiko. Saika spun gleefully in place and held one hand out to Aiko. At first we didn't get along too well, but I get the feeling that deep down where it counts, you're not such a bad person at all. I hope we can be the bestest of buds from here on out to our new friendship. This is what I like about this girl. I'd always had a tendency to either be way too blunt or way too familiar with people, bringing them down to my level without even realizing it. But on numerous occasions, I truly felt like Saika had saved me from myself. To our new friendship, Saika, and to you too now. Aiko shook hands with Saika and smiled at me. Yeah. Cold and blunt as usual. But I could feel the red spreading across my face, and I was certain Saika and Aiko knew how I felt, regardless. Now his face turning red as Saika smiling gleefully. Two beautiful, endlessly expressive images gone forever. That day almost feels like a dream now. Well, shit, that's depressing. The funny thing is, nothing of note had really even happened. We just ate a whole lot of sweets, talked for a long time, and took sticker photos. All told, we'd only spent a few hours with each other. Just a few wild hours messing around after school one day. But those days are never coming back. Now and Saiko were now dead. And their deaths triggered an intense despair, hatred, and sheer insanity within Haruyuki, all of which was directed squarely at me. That day, we were all laughing together. Where had things gone wrong? Somewhere along the line, somebody must have made some kind of mistake. But who? Is it my fault? Cannot forgive, will never forgive. Whimper. I had to apologize. Both of the girls had already died, and to the person who had gone mad right in front of my eyes. I'm sorry. I couldn't even get the whole word out. So how the hell did she escape? The sheer depths of his rage bore into my skull, and out I went like a light. But how did she escape? That doesn't make any sense. But how did she escape and was able to meet up with Ayumi and stuff? Oh shit. Stop it. Alarm clock. There you go. Okay. Wait, there's another extra chapter? Oh, fuck me. There's another fucking extra chapter. I thought we were done with this, but okay, I guess. Shit. Chapter 7 was, it was okay, I guess. Alrighty then, where were we? Options, ending list, extra chapter 8? Oh god. I wonder how long this is. New chapter. Extra chapter 8. Reignition. Vroom vroom. After Ayumi Shinozaki sailed away to Nirvana, those who lost their lives at Heavenly Host Elementary were able to exist in this world once again. But the dead can never truly be brought back to life. Okay. The entity walls in the Nirvana may be gone, but they left massive chasms in the earth and countless casualties in their wake. Plus, according to Satoshi Machida, Koaniwa, and all the students who took the place of his formerly existence-less friends in this world have now been erased in their stead. But they still remember them though. How could that be? Okay. Though Koaniwa's existence is entirely gone, she still somehow exists in memory as Aiko Niwa's sister. Yeah, but how do they remember her as a teacher when Aiko Niwa is supposed to be some I don't know, some position elsewhere, whatever. And while they don't exactly remember how or why this came to be, the perfect life is now short once the year has fallen into total chaos trying to find and train a replacement. We are shamans. We have witnessed the entirety of history. When Queen Himiko fell during the Yamatai-koku, we were there. And when the wall fell during the Eastern European Revolution, we were there. Maybe that says something about you. You're the ones who are causing all of this shit. We have been resurrected time and again, standing proud as the era shift. We and we alone have moved to this world. We moved this world. Praise, for we resurrect here again, and pleasing amen of the earth's newest impending shift. Unguerdon souls, thou hast failed in thy past life and must now bear witness to our revolution. Ooh. This is our gospel. Behold the child, last night a miracle was born unto our order. The mother be not known, but a birth at such an age, 'tis surely the second coming of God. This child has the potential. This child shall one day grow to be our successor. Let us all praise this child. Ooh. Is that her? Once the cleanup efforts from the Nirvana incident had more or less become old news, I decided to pay the order a visit and see what's up. Damn, this place sure went south. It's been forever since the last gamer, but look at this place. Damage everywhere, holes in the walls and floors, and neglected flags slanted on its pole. A mess all around. Mistress Magri, I'm pleased you've come back to us safely. One of the few remaining members, and there were so many before. I wonder where they all disappeared to. Not that I should have ever trusted them to keep their shit together in the first place. When the apocalypse came knocking, I was kinda mad at myself for being surprised at all. Don't know who this person is, but he's looking at me kinda nervously. Where's the founder? Well... When one of several entity walls sprouted near the Order's HQ, our founder apparently panicked and fell down the stairs. And died. Lol. So is the reason there are so few members now because everybody died? Mostly, there were several others who ran away in fear as well. Even among the elites? I'm afraid so. I turned around and walked out of the room. And... the spring squeaked and groaned as I tossed about in my bed. What the fuck was the point in devoting my life to the Martubas? I got up and jumped right back down onto the mattress once more, and wanted to break the fucking thing. All the shit I did. The whole purpose behind my existence was all for nothing. I slammed the bed repeatedly with my fist, and the springs rocked back and forth vigorously. This whole fucking time I've done everything on my own ever since I was abandoned. And when Walter took me in, I thought I finally found my reason to live. I got where I am today by never losing to anyone, but now there's no one left. They're all fucking gone. My eyes were red and I was out of breath. As I threw my tantrum, a familiar figure stepped in through my bedroom door, carrying a tray. Welcome back, madame. I brought you some milk tea. I got up and threw myself at Waldo with every last bit of force my muscles could push. Instantly, I was bawling. I thought he was dead or something. Madame. Mono was old and wise. He was my rock in all of this. Waldo, I want you to promise me something. Don't you ever leave me. You got that? Of course. He smiled at me. This order needs to be rebuilt, and I'm going to be the one to rebuild it. I'm going to make it better than ever. Come on. We've got a lot of work to do. But of course, madame. You okay? Uh-huh. Are we done finally? Should probably combine this with a yeah, okay. Yes, of course. Huh, look at that, we're done. Well, it's supposed to be triumphant or something, but okay, I guess. I really enjoyed Blood Drive when it's focused on the human exploring the whole school and stuff. Don't like it when it's focusing too much on the other parts that I don't like, which is Satoshi and the others. Kuaniwa, it's a strange presence. Like, what the fuck? So weird. I want to hear from, let's see, bonus. Voice cast. Good job, everyone. Completed the game. This is Sammy Mai, voice of Yumi Shirazaki. I really appreciate you making it all the way to the end. Yeah, thanks for that. It's been 2 years since I first told that something big was going to happen with Ayumi. Yeah, fucking yeah. What, no picture of her? And finally, at long last, the story ended like that. Sound disappointment. When I was reading the script, I was like, Ayumi, you go, girl. But then I realized I was gonna be the one to play this role, and it totally sobered me up. Yeah, finally. I think that's the scariest part of the whole thing for me. But it was really fun playing as her either way. During recording, I tried to really express myself in various ways and hope that managed to reach you guys. Hell yeah, it did. It's kind of like you've been watching over her as she's grown up. Yeah. So the tale of Beverly Hills Elementary is over, but there's always Corpse Party 2, so please keep watching over me as the series goes on, okay? Okay. Corpse Party 2. Sammy, am I signing off? Wait, really? Come on, I wanted to hear more from you. Corpse Party 2. What a fucking nightmare. Just chapter 1? But okay. Speaking of, maybe I should play that, the fuck is this? EVP machine? What the? No. It says here about your own conversation using character voice files from throughout the game. I'm not that lonely. Let's see. There's movies. We're done with that. Yeah. What is this? Why are there so many stars? I don't know. Cute. Haha. Where's the picture of now in the group? That was cute. Where is it? Where? You see, yeah, fucking cute as fuck, man. Cute as fuck. So yeah, this is Corpse Party Blood Drive. I am gonna miss this game. This is really fun. I love it. Up next is gonna be Corpse Party 2, a true fucking sequel? Question mark?